Good morning. I'm here at the Button Rock Trailhead, and this is off Big Elk Road, right here where Forest Road 1181 starts, located inside the Roosevelt National Forest, which means we're in the drone zone, baby. And today, I'm going to go for Button Rock. You're like, Button Rock Mountain again? No, I didn't say Button Rock Mountain. I said Button Rock. It's a totally different thing. Official start time, 7:40. And I'm going to have to start off walking down the road here for about a mile or so. I've made it out to the first arrow, and this is where you want to take it to the right. And I know that that way works. However, I'm going to stay to the left. I'm just going to have a little fun with it. Who's having fun with it? We got some beautiful fall foliage out here, which I think is an Italian word, but you don't want to go walking on it because it is fragile. And then not too far past the trail split is a little campsite, and right here at the end of it is a trail that extends out. So I'm going to take this and see where it goes. And I feel like I'm getting stalked by a mountain lion or something. I keep hearing noises. And this trail has some ups. I'm going straight up this thing. However, it's a lot more exciting than hiking on that road. Okay, I just heard a noise over here, so my instincts kicked in. I spun around and assumed a defensive karate stance, ready for whatever danger was going to come my way. And then I saw this squirrel run up the tree, and I swear to God, I almost Hershey squirted my pants. All right, and I'm almost up here at the saddle. Wow, this trail got me up here quick. That's looking up at the beginning of Button Rock Mountain, and then right here in front of me is the trail that my mom and I had come up. So yeah, I've almost made it up to the saddle, which is a real nice surprise. Just a real nice surprise. And I can't believe I'm up here already. This is awesome. I've been up here 3 different times, and I've taken 3 different trails. But that one I did just now was by far the best. It's the shortest, it's the most scenic, and it gets you off that road pretty quick. So you don't have to keep walking up that thing. Because who likes walking up roads? Nobody. And I believe this is going to be the saddle right here. Once I cross over, I should start dropping back down again. And then Button Rock is right out there on the east side. I should maybe be able to see it soon. Yeah, this is the saddle. Because if you take it off to the right, that'll lead to the top of Button Rock Mountain. And then there's this trail over here, and I'm not sure where that goes. I'm thinking about taking it and seeing if it cuts over to Button Rock without dropping down so far. Because if I stay on the trail that I'm on, this thing is going to start going down. Yeah, let's check this out. Let's see where this goes. Well, I just checked the GPS, and I don't think this trail is going to lead over to Button Rock. However, this is a fat trail out here. This thing is pretty nice, so I'm going to continue to follow it and see where it goes. It's got to go somewhere good. Well, this trail is going to at least go to this first high point. So that's cool. This really wasn't too far. Awesome. Epic views from this little spot. I can see Audubon and Paiute Peak to the right. And then I believe way out there in the distance is going to be Bierstadt and Blue Sky. Wow. And it's a beautiful day too. And just when I was getting ready to start heading back down this thing, I just heard a big noise from right over here. It sounded like somebody shifted a big rock. It was like dunk. So I don't think a squirrel did that. So I got back on the trail and I continued to follow it out further away from the saddle, but I think it just ran out. Well, this trail might continue. I don't know, this is pretty faint, whatever I'm on. If I keep going straight, this is going to drop straight down and basically just go back to the trailhead. So that's not the way I want to go. So I think before I drop it down too far, I'm just going to turn around and start heading back and try and get over to Button Rock. I'm back on the lower part of the trail, and this is going to lead back down to the saddle. And then once I make it back down there, I think I'm just going to stay on the main trail, head it to the east, take it downhill, and just try and fight my way over to Button Rock. There might be some kind of trail or something once I get closer to it, but I don't know. I'm just out here winging it. And I've made it back down to the saddle. I am going to take this trail to the left, which is going to be more to the east, and work it on over to Button Rock. And right here, maybe 20 more feet down the trail, is going to be the split that leads up to the top of Button Rock Mountain. However, I'm not going over there today. If you want to see what that's like, I've got 2 previous videos on it. Nope, we're going to stay straight, take it on over to Button Rock. And I'm dropping it down this trail, and so far I haven't seen anything that looks like Button Rock. And of course, it doesn't have Button Rock labeled on my GPS or Cotrex, so I'm kind of flying blind. But if all else fails, I'll launch the drone, see if I can get up really high, and then I might be able to see where it's at. Do a little drone recon. Okay, I've come up to this 4-way split, and I'm definitely going to take it over here to the left, because I felt like before I was hiking way too much to the south. I had that sun like right in my face, and that is not where I need to be going. So I'm hoping this trail leads right on over to Button Rock. Yeah, I'm starting to have my doubts right now. But yeah, I've got my fingers crossed. We're at least headed somewhat in the right direction now. Okay, we've got another trail split. Ooh, I'm not sure now. And before I go the wrong way, I'm gonna launch Ruby drone and see if I can find Button Rock. And the drone recon just paid off big time. This is definitely going to be the way. And it really doesn't look like it's that much further up the trail either. Thank you once again, Ruby Drone. I'll tell you what, finding this button rock is a little tricky because you cannot see it down here in the trees. I still can't see it. And that's a pretty cool rock. Not as cool as button rock, but it's still pretty cool. And I shouldn't have that much further at all now. Okay, I just split off the main trail. And I still don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna hike to the top of these rocks though and see what I can see. All right, what do we got here? Okay, it's back over there to the left. I'm gonna have to get back on the trail and try and work it over in that direction. Yeah, there was a little split in the trail back there, and I went to the right when I should have went to the left. Okay, and I've made it back to the three-way junction, and that's the way that I originally had come in, and I should have stayed over here and made a left. Yeah, this should lead right on over to it. It better, because I'm running out of options and I'm getting pretty thirsty. And this isn't going out quietly. There's a massive down and up just to get over to the rock. And then it's way up there. Yeah, I think I just screwed up. I don't think this trail goes to the top of Button Rock. It looks like it just keeps going down. I feel like I've already passed Button Rock and there's no signs of this thing leading back up. So I'm gonna have to turn around, hike it back up the trail, at least 150 vertical feet, and then try and bushwhack it to the top. And I just fought my way back up the trail. And this is the view that I'm getting. And right here is where I'm gonna split off and just try and climb to the top of that high point. That's not even Button Rock either. This has turned into a little bit of a nightmare. But I'm not gonna give up now. I'm gonna keep pushing on. And I don't even know if I can get up that. Looks like a bunch of cliffs and boulders. I don't know, I'm gonna go over there and see what I can see. And maybe there's a way up this backside, which would be more to the west. And I've just come upon a trail. Where the heck did this come from? I don't know, but I like it. This is a good sign. And it's leading right over here to this west side of the rock. All right, baby. Let's keep pushing it. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good. And this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's super steep and rocky, but I can get through this. All right. And you've got to be kidding me right now. That's going to be Button Rock way out there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's like a 99% chance of a hike fail now. I just don't have enough water to get over there. And yep, I think this is going to be the end of the road for me. This is an awesome spot though. I'm not complaining. And I need to drop it down on the way back, and then you can barely see part of the trail. leading up to the little saddle right there. And then once I make it up there, the rest should be all downhill. And these are the views from the spot. Over there to the left is Button Rock Mountain. And then you can see on the other side of the saddle, that little high point that I was on. Awesome. And then of course that's big old Meeker and Longs in the background. You can also see Twin Sisters. And then this rocky one over here to my right is Kenny Mountain. And I tried that a couple times last year from this side, and I did not make it. I got up all the rocks, but then once I hit those trees up there, it got way too nasty. Like, literally, I could not force my way through those trees. They were so tight. So I had to turn around and hike fail it. Well, we're in the Roosevelt National Forest, which means we're in the drone zone, baby. Let's fly. It is just now 10 after 11, and I got up here at around 10:40, which means it took me 3 hours to find my way up to this high point. But I'm out of water, so it's time to go. It's time to head on back. All right, let's do it. Let's take it on back. And if I could find some water, like a stream or a puddle or something, I could then probably get all the way out to Button Rock. However, this is a totally dry area. There's no water out here. So yeah, this hike fail was my fault. You're like, yeah, no kidding. Who else's fault could it have been? I'm just saying though, if I would have brought more water, I could have made it. It's just I was packing the drone, so that already adds a lot of weight right there. And when I mapped this on Cotrex, it looked like it was maybe 5.5 to 6 miles in total with a net elevation gain of about 1,500. So I didn't think it was going to be that hard. That's why I didn't think I needed that much water. But yeah, it got a little toasty out here and I got thirsty. And I think I've got a problem with Ruby drone. The last 3 times I've flown her, she's gone for about 7 to 8 minutes and then I lose connectivity and the screen locks up and like nothing happens. And that happened again today. However, luckily it did it when the drone was right overhead, so I was able to put eyes on it and fly it back and land it. But yeah, I might have to put Ruby into retirement before I lose her. Yeah, I don't know what the problem is, but like I said, that same thing has happened the last 3 times I've flown her now. and it's just getting too risky. And even though I hate when a hike fail, I feel like the viewers like it. They like to see me fail. So this video might get more views than normal because I failed. Hope you all enjoy it. And I was wondering how I missed this trail that led up to the high point that I was on. But yep, right here at this original trail split, this is where I flew the drone, and I took it right there to the right. The trail to the high point that I was on was the trail to the left. And I've made it back to the main trail. I'm going to go ahead and call this the saddle trail. And then once I take it down and then back up and over the saddle, the rest of the hike should be all downhill. Yeah, if I hadn't a fiddle farted up there to the north side of the saddle, I think I could have afforded that mistake and probably still made it out to Button Rock. But that extra time and energy that I spent over there cost me. And that's looking back at where I've come from. And I was sitting right up there in those rocks. And that was actually a really cool spot. All right, and I've made it up to the saddle. And although I didn't make it up to Button Rock, I still had a great time out here, enjoying this beautiful day, breathing in the fresh Colorado air, and getting to explore new places. And next time when I come out here, I'll know exactly where to go. And after hiking up here 3 different times, I have finally discovered that this is going to be the best trail. Right here. Yeah, this should lead down to that very first campsite. And wow, I'm already back down to the campsite. That was fast. Yeah, even though that trail is steep and rocky, that is by far the most direct route. That gets you up to the saddle and back down super fast. I cannot believe I'm already down here. Heck yes. Almost done with this thing. And I cannot get over how beautiful of a day it is today. It's just about perfect. Man, I wish every day was like this. All right, and I'm back. Button Rock Trailhead. It is just now 12:20, so that only took an hour and 10 minutes to come back down. Took me roughly 3 hours to get up there with all my back and forth, and only 1:10 to get back down. And I'm thinking I hiked right around 7 miles today with at least a 1,500 foot elevation gain. And look at that clean cross track. Oh yeah, baby. And it's always smart to carry some backup water in the car. Boom. I'll probably drink half of that on the way home. But I hope you enjoyed that hike. And until the next one, y'all, peace.